bibiran atra bulul kurati mo lo ay kan mal klubo ko lay mamarmar el blal katmokla malung ilarang din lelmet ng nga atra senate ma house el mga limar karil at press conference mga katamam sa tele lakab enorme di mo other three hindi akal kundi akal live mo hindi akal oo yung team na akal sorry. Oh, we're gonna do it live. Oh, okay.
Malito ta Presidente, raw mar kabinet raw mar adrolville. Tiang marbeklat. TBS el group para ruba karang rusad. W Ray. Decide was the form of corporation to do our part. Lono si Rablu Belau advertise mong labo ka Rablu Belau. Pamamarata ilar maasam na man na mong tuon nga ra mga gimla o bultan mo adrabong ma-shares. Tinggal ko mystery nga tiang ati makasara ro to ko luwa ka ray. Kaya mal so mal lagi mles kara o Israel wasebo last press conference magigora di mel ultra appreciation ng mamara ulela national government marado rol bill gire legal state maradra vela urugui hindi sa igid mergo etia ulela uror Igar rogul hindi so kal mo wise lo sa igar rogul lo uspe adi kataringil import. They are all endemic the lomra blue belaw. From como omes rauriu leng ngaringar war te eladeng sama from kaburs el mo rablu el moraget el yagi remain el uspe at the lomra belaw e biodegradable and diakarwa ras marwa rodol lospe maldi klalor belaw mang kiu ka pa sa tumi mit ka rubakal o sel mora
Jamra lumil.
Ora
Yamal disis
sat tiro ko sa sat Ora floor leader Senator Mario Oy
Hindi ako wala din ako.
I see.
Gamrila rallet.
Tekaray. Floor leader house. Jose. Floor leader house. Isa pa yan. Hindi ka palustin.
Jamra lumil. Lumil.
Oy.
Tiang kora mo niya kora. Pangani stand up kulara.
Yes, ako na otro dia utamel mortir. Mnamosat al marara urior. Intention ako masagi ulil mo sabi el ngaria tour mo participate tragal our tourist mar ala civil mo touring to all tabek the lomer belaw ngari ben matmokol in the meantime agimrul
Adali to.
Kamamura din lalkot.
Ordiro. Yap.
ay bete yung bete Magina start lagi mlakli raw ta magi start lo motor gikrel blari Saya mo base kamami.
Ayun man di mo rapif, padang mo rapif.
Ni Roger, all year round.
Pati ka masulil at advertise. Ang ginil ka so.
Ngarusar Corporation.
Di,
Ngarusar.
flow tutulil ka pa nor kita ngamay sa balo, especially.
I see.
Kada namra Hawaii, sil dangar Hawaii.
I see.
Ngari tige may mukha okya kartir.
I see.
Wala bale.
I see. Yes. That's the idea.
Oh.
Yes.
Kita ngari tige kayan like Four Seasons for
Yes. Yes.
Kaya el product el valor tra
Yes.
more still. So hopefully.
Ay karkotol. Hindi ka diyan.
Ngayon mo sit tugal. Tigil terul basto.
Kaya terus
Tigil terul basto.
Eh,
L'era presidente della nuova siciliana del Nepal. Ya tobet.
Kasi takmal di ilmutal mereng asule me masular bekla de happy holidays. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, sulang ya kapo mo. Tiga rupa karai kumran sulang. Mark the ball.
Happy New Year.
Nado lulu.
Podon tira pastor musik temal baski vang lungu everel altutaw.
Madalo rawi. Omuya baltigireng adam Dios apa balwadas. Aki marang artiang rupa kyo atong saw. Aki artiang al mali talgi beltime, mali kide beltime. Aki mo asois berapi aserak. Aki mo mesuri uli ruba aki mesa amral betol klang tangat el gam ni mas kamam el temno amri garak. Baki man bertanya dio atong saw. Edi marang asulem. El mutil di maragul klap kale ruba kal mal maskaw. Etel mral mirra ruba aki mniak mral dir kapatoka. Amaklo mga sireng el toil. Ekat mo kalgiram. Kamal di mira kaman biruba kalau makas almuru ngaraklaw marang. El mamuka tagil klobo kal sengel pam kat mo kalgiram biruba. Kamamal balu. Ada magi may embralo dersia. Hamuteling rabalu mam rogui. Arangal kam rogui. Ada pila rogui. Ito kubet suruba katel meeting el moringel al sils. El ngiyama mongulbong el meeting. Ertiarak. Ada magilot ki at tingil alugas ra. Eruklol biong ra ewi del kumulk mo. Ngal Mary. Milelia ka akatengel ngalgel saal. Mililira mamatha. Magdusira ongolela arma. Eleng mle maserda selangil el blay. Dim nakapul keringi. Lupa ka kimot-mot yalpe asaray ko lingitak mo. Lakapul maserda ng mam. Malakapasyol ka mo ringi. Lakapul maserda ng mam. Maserda ng mam. Malakapasyol sa pamiruba kalungoy titira adalos pe angeswa. Ang rabita ka mam. El selarang mam. Gimusutrir. Agi madil mutil meruba kyo siya balu mam. Malmutiling mam rogui. Mabalu mam meruba kalakor kao. Ayo dang asawa o dang sagar rogui. Ngarang klelay ang algem li Jesus ng Diyos balam. Amen.
Sulang pastor musik te dire kamal tel urang asula la gobernador matige ruba kara airal girala igale kabogol ley kida abulul الوالغمر هذا الميميلي رابلوات مرال جيد لما سيجروا قواتر تارا غرول تيا مرال وسنترا كرول especially الأدران ولوسارا العمل نوير تير تيا غرا سلعاري airport متمال دي تدي متوقع لمالير تير مور airport نشوف متملا بس موني ده ما دليجت تدري مساعد graduation مالبونيا دي أختي أخباي بيك بس تيجي روبا قال البون وصوص المعاو سايقال تقول دي كده مرال جد رما سيقولوا بقل تلرا أقرول لوكو سبايقال نارين كده أدرا أبلور بيلام so قطرول دو تلتال بدو سوسراي بدول مرقلاي مربقول بيلام بيلو أبي رقلاي مرمسيل بيلاو president باولس ما توبت سلوين تطار فلور ليدر وكنوس إلا بنجد ما بقل سيناتورز دريغ المرا سبيكر غاناي سوسريد ما دريغ الفلور ليدر ما بقل ديليجيت سلو بنجد رلال التوتاو دريغ المال السوسريد ما فايس بريزيدنت ما دريغ الأوكا مينستر سلو بنجد رلال التوتاو ما chief justice نيراي غراو ما روغل justices ما governors speakers ماربك الليتورس رايقل بك البلو ماربك الأذر بيلاو الغارة السيلا بلور بيلاو ما غارة يكرر بلور بيلاو كذا مال سواد الغوت الأول كذا مال مرينا تيرا عمله ويل غوريسماس مرينا سولة wishing them a very happy and prosperous new year كذا بطوغا غارة عمدالا ngar madadre la alsil so qadi swad almo osma qada malang tangat tengar tianga qada la senet ma house بسكا غطيب التام قرادي مو update كده last week or 2 weeks ago last week era Christmas Eve December 24 ملاني أقرأ قدام press conference and ديم لقى أدرى ميديا ارتيام I just wanna update سيل ملي agreement تبلي ذا ساينين the third country national agreement كذا مدين واسيسي مغططان غاني سودل كذا منار البيرة غلولا وملاني أقرأ meeting لما جل ambassador Aaron Wright ملي بتوقع concern سرارة درابلو كذا ميلغت مقرنيل ناريال دادورا مجيلا بلورا مريجيل later جيمنا airport Florida Senate بيبرا senators مرا delegate ساملارسي ناريا suggestion مرا لاندولو سي create a refugee working group ناريا working group اللي بده create تاني تجيمنا تمغلا وريور المول on December 24 يسال وال بالفاينل agreement hablo dos años mamlar telo bangeda amlo saingeri amlaria aspiger mar adra house omtera rubugul belan mlengir turong omtera masil belan mle bilung ma adiregal omtera governors mle governor angirata boet ma omtera speakers mle speaker Thomas I believe ma of course omtera meeting na executive branch amlaria Minister Orgaril, el co-chairing ma Minister Victor Mleo Failand, amlo signing agreement a Minister of State. So I know to a question of me so several time and we'll share with you. I'll get you off stuff. Tara mo gibom bas kami amo kapir sel MOU so you can see the kapira MOU mo mablagtak mo ra baklata yidre mo sa kapis sel mora both houses relal sils mata makapili. كده دريغ المالغلطنات one of the most higher الالسيل سيل بيل هذيك شور سيل number 12-4 يتيانا دمال المريغا سولير تريغال ديليجيتس مار سيناتور سنغارتيا دريغ المريغا سولير ميديا يتوغبت last press conference راير Maria opening prayer by Pastor Idong, and Maria closing prayer yidel Miguel Pastor Sandario. So kadaman maring asulil diri kalau Miguel relal tutong. and of course, muito ta Miss Sungyama, Miss Raklay, Miss Tulog. So, mal mereka sudah ngerti rogui, lilai, boy sing, dia tak lilai. Ngalde, lila di bus. Yes. So sel bil pada sana ni al tuta se wal dil imol bil ndi tablo tuwa bol lo sa de floor leader gidam dinyo lo se tara magtatal el issue ablur bela se magara dosi krolel ma tokol magikrel kong balil tira ngara tokora construction amos il participate ra tokora aigel ukurora qabalment المرارة السلع بلور بيلو من قدمنا مسؤولة لا تملا introducing a senator malaire oy a senator malaire اللي هي متقلل البيل تيا مستر سنة most all senators عمله introductory كمية روح عمله introductory دين دي عمره لو سه ناسي experience la senator malaire عمله ملارا public work yang ada yang cloud yang ini lagi lu amne tribal telangal sel look bilara se procurement requirements la tokora construction ra blur belo kida amne sing mutoka magigre el shobar al sel blur belo sel local sal bring la yegi requirement ra procurement mo bring tira participate mutianga sel goterelia vamos a hacer el banding requirement. Y también es el moctegra banding requirement a protect the government rebelao diagal losers el wal insure a project man el momrek gumra lo sea ngaria abtogol rael se drog yungi a government a el complete project es el baaklo meng tial bila awara lelo sesel sumum bringer tira mala banding atong sa sisi dinga ya ko se dolore ka dulu dudir el morsel time ka dulu release leng ser cloud to trela magra monia tele legal tol combalir bela migrer combali in fact gol gera adra se ay pirelo se tetera ta se terlui ma tede a triel wal gan tractol combalir bela participate gal project rablur bela meng cloud to trela المجيغري amount ترى project بني التقليل تريجي دربتوق الكونتراكتول البارتيسيبيت مسير ترى هذا وريول لو منجلا أسي أي بي رول جيلو أسي مغرا تومسا project يدولك تقول مو أيجل سايسل سيلا تقال contractors participate أوجيو تيجي الباندين على وسير تيم مكلو يل amount نسيل الملا تيم المكلو and we help them grow لقيت أسودا البول بتوقع مكلو الكونتراكشن كمباني سأل سلا بلور بيلو akpla mlartiang gele David Paul ang Minister of Finance ra Marshall story na ngalo si kami mgrasin mo ramal potokal project taon terma kasi potokal contractor kami ngasi kama di one contractor kama Marshall Island kama I got project kama Palau sa Amru kasi kung kater mo magigare mo potokal participate halak mo ra no me OMS plus ang you know we need to reform ayal اللي قال المو فيبر هذا بيلا سيا مقتنع من كذا مرينا سوللا سيناتور ملايري ما فورس أروح سيناتور سمع انترودو سري مرينا سوللا chairman other جروي ما other house لو سير مريا the review ني تلا ما لما ترى يلدي من مريا ده house تو باي ملاي plus threshold mo 300,000 ma 600,000 mada mal mrenga sulil bail mut mla smisi gidam denga se tenga tiga tam update 3 since 1993 mangang inire da update de gida mal mrenga sulil adrol bil el alsil se tia introduction date tia mla introduce tra April 8 tobdara July المرا house املا تبدأ house من almost 1 year دي Kadamre nga sula ador bilase. Hindi kadim segi damla artiang. Hindi ka nga emergency rigidra tukora shipping registry. Mang sel amne tibel mre adeleng. Sa assembly floor amendment ra house. الملاسم الادريس را او تشالنج كده شيبينج ريجستري الشيبينج ريجستري كده التايمينج ولا قلوريو سيرغون بالي ngari issues ringi mendekal sila ndekal sil haraorgid aigel dia langaria Florida susa ko kilo email ra wana shipping company sa kaya tel dila mamarangi mak hal kami ko mukbil karang wa email address sa office of president email na kira laigal dia al mlastak li kada tiang amal di masate alla executive branch minister obiang ama hayes kada kada mere del siga gombalil si el lord tia urior e gida more through cell process el siga amral gombalil continue operation gida amdengel wase over the past years tia dugurulil mlegrel shipping registry ladim letelal 100,000 at collect trim lamo yang lang kailun milyon ratara kalau providing el revenue merablur belaw in so adro si garara el adro giving mulmol may revenue mesois most important thing hindi kal matamal isel belaw lagi dam dingin asel moy tegel dial malu ngaria issue nya opri dais rase tel registry bela da adro marari tia kalsak bagi kita dia kalsodal al murul mang mring asulin miskita flexibility magada si adro uriol mredel lugut makle uriol mandega adial المرخ مونجرة استغلن دي قصة المولا paper work كتير من كذا هي مال دي واي الملال مكيت ترتوق لا بوليس بس كان عم دي ريجستر عملي مده عشان دي قصتي تنرون عمل كلوز دي قصة ريجستر عملي ما اقول ملو دي قالوا دي سيا سو هذا ميك شور يو سي دي قصة كلوز قبل ما تربلا وما تل شيبينج ريجستري لو بانك البلا من اقبل دي مرين اسولي ورا adim lemre ya akmadeng wase of course kita proposal daso agumra wase asel el día o sigara a solution mang kadamdeng wase mlaria agora amle discussion mamlaria amle propose the proposing executive branch other sin mora a speaker ma presenter senate kadamdeng asula house el mlosi lotungi of course mlaria concerns ra senate kadamre ngasuri el maldi se tara la gotta kadebol conference committee kumesin a youtube dimle 20 minutes oy ada amre ngasuri chairman el dimle 20 minutes conference kamiu kom kaiget elie dir kamal amre ngasuri le mlare gel betokol ribbon cutting kadamile khrablo ra babel da idri kalmro ya felwer ambassador mo floor leader rausa kam le khraba bel da bel mumrek Aquí hombre que regaló en el clock, es mal de mirar el mel tu acra, un módulo sesión, el mel continúa el mora, el momento masumara ambasador Liman. Temal holidays de tema, tema un mal de urior, magdamar nga suliur, ser commitment tergamil, el make sure en degal mataro ba yel cloud to trail service el mora radar belaw, ba yel accessible la anges el marablur belaw. Por adi doli, muate alle, el ikhtirar miral Raigal ribbon cutting floor leader modadura radra house ongi tertilo ase kida gira dro mesa gira rogul te alla rasi se bele lawdo del mer al se lablur belaw el diagal el ngia motomelia kladar gid malu tertela klangar al se lablur belaw agumra lo ase sel tora marine sanctuary agotter ungila intenteri en help gid المغليوم اللي مطبوق رتيا لوجا لاقلنا رجيم بعد السيم تايم كده مدينا سايقا البولا يقا ترى المانيج تيال الذبيذ ما أرمل اليوم رجيد متيال لوجا لاقلنا رجيم ميك شور مدي غدا مولا نلاق المول أولى التملي تيال لوجا لاقلنا رجيم مدمرين سولا لا مينستر فيكتور الملا مرة غير رجول ستاديس الملا أوتيل واسي Mlamo time the right size ra marine sanctuary. Ayel rogul omsu mlam kataklil wase 30% is the right size. That means 30% the protectory is el 70% of those peri el diga dos peri ngari atel gelen. Minister Victoria Adrigamlem na Rashabal ikadoma sa igel lidi sila fishing days en mani misem lang ma tetsual modiak mdengin na sa ige et ledra u karger mer al sila blur belaw mdengin na sa inte lela u tara asise belela garul mer al sila blur belaw esel gotel suadan الموت مقرية make sure en aiger rogul dongot mok amoklung yola other belaw at the same time en sobakli ti alugel aklangar gil ma flor spera to lo se Florida se the balance of protection ma production ndega aiga girel التمغل ورير تبلون دي قال مغدا ما ريوم لما تمقرا لوغل aklangar gil ادير غلومس اسه ما يجل سي ادلو سبيل سنغرا روبا قال ديوس التركلا ولا بالواد مغرا دو سبي الجيرل aklangar other belaw rogoy gimlara agar berkaringa se agar la connector gida open atte alla ragarul ya atara agarula asel el fishing hatch reel el blura taiwan amo help para blura pangal el meruri mo se dalo mgrola aula ndi gal se dio mgrola aula de otrulel o inga otrul marad ndi sel tara otrul awal mang katukura kay nga siyang akasen tara igel niya sedel lo tutir el albesel rak radimren diregal tukura pension ma SS they need reform kadam langwa 20 million elal blada sana sel TCN kadam langwa another 6 million le 26 million sel mlegora estimate sel dos penil reform ra pension man mo excited rek kasi al sumun sela tiyan mal digerel tora shipping registry mal nemre del matmuklo regal tablo al house yakno segal bitol kita albangal al amla mo pala regal tablo al blay mga kamal ready na next year pastor Sandario design abil mal mo to kami akura di look forward on regal bitol bill next year gadi do all over record Adam, om di orto del me Florida, kom ite ela kadang artir, terul Florida ang artem kadi om di sen del me aktisayan. Adam. Okay? Akti mring asulura, amring loro akde se, may gamla pala bregal teblol bay ma akti mingil. Okay. Sulang, tel kadang arteng. Makmal di mring asulim. Mring asulura gal for el bill bad sana el alir, they look further more gele la 15 next year. Oh. Okay. Hindi ko laksan. Okay.
Yeah.
Hal, magandang. Oh. Okay. Balas, okay. May lakata. Hindi hal, maybe nga rin aso. Hal mo lang ang dua. Flor, hindi ka bakit mo siya. Happy New Year, ma. Medyo? Okay. Eli. Oh, mnang ka session na kami, Eli. Okay. Ja. Tingnan mo sa passed on May 2025. Thank you, Rosie.
Hindi ang gina December 12, tila-transmit na date.
The initial. Pero kung raya mo, siya. Naka-floor din sa ating ating.
Oh.
Right. Nangamusil. Tyler. Okay. Okay. Sì, vabbè, scusa, ora trovo il video, lembro cantini. Sulla, Happy New Year. Ay, moran, berarti. Oh, ako ma-present mo kung Martila. Okay? Hindi, meron mo kumdi nga. Tatingar siya. Kita kada mo continue ti press conference ergid ti akora endra here magia gikoro lungit rase well kada mlamrail mliwak kreeli labanggela ministerly lagi tamde sengge mo marail matia mo marara January 11 mo mara amle last ribbon cuttings magimlare ang mesasel upna mo maregal upgrade a gym te emlera ngurul woblo mesasel completion ra sel gym ra ngurul woblo mle continue mora ngatpang mesa ang asal mesayel tool additional ra na mo marek mora ngar along mesasel completion ra sel sedoseng renewed and extended the state building ra abluna sa makla amin ngar along yang makla bokol mong kada of course yung namure ka temela ambassador Lee Blue Palau. We want to take this opportunity and thank Ambassador Lee for really her commitment to enhancing the enduring relationship that we have between the Republic of China and Palau. Earlier we used the terms of saying planting seeds of love. Hele, gara Taiwan temal sorry take the love ya symbol of love like umral wasing sel beltigere ngargi the sel sisil del will ergi we are family. We're Austronesians, we're seguidel el beltigere ngartir kadangara we were in COVID and they were there. We're coming out and rebounding with tourism, they were there. We were in need especially sa tema la COVID adal murau guru and that was the only place we could send patients kada marenga asulela ambassador girelsi especially tige man le closed igidam la COVID rigid but still atamla ala rigid of the tira magada I think that shows Rase at the end of the day we're family, we care about each other, we take care of each other at the hardest times. Kita dirikan mal almering asuler ngara magikarel tukol mura maklol tukoy. Participate of tirar maas, tirar other all bill al tirar magikarel at el mral mle protocolo songyen el sel L'Oreor, Miguel, program na embassy was really about helping people. It's about uplifting and other And I think most recently is el bladesanga hindi ka di legal to kalingis para government tra blue rat Taiwan kadiri ko mesa investment ra Taiwan at sa blue belan lamgis and Minister Lina of course hindi gamlay temle sana igel teblo MOU on la bugela blue ramle ko kom seligar si passion look es el group para Taiwanese investors and me serve lao lo kom se opportunities sorry loro lo mget akla abes el saudrin di tara mle on trira se el tora elet visa come se la pasra senet misel adirek na house hopefully di mre adalme diget ayel tara te al luq mergid el OSS babes el rule batto tuning o tir triel tira dogotek meder tir. And I think that's what we want to see. We want to see good investment, legitimate investment, and especially by our partners. So thank you, Ambassador Lee, for the last 4 years, the partnership, the friendship, and most importantly, sharing the seeds of love with all of us in Palau. We wish you the best on your continued journey back home, and until we meet again. So, notable touch yourself, third country nationals, haladik matalibel time edik kataklisel agreement mol clear arbekla. Ako truule se mataklil waseng ndi 75 al-ath adala artil mekira ablur bela aurior. Ndiru before any of them amir belao egidel ga government bela agirel gongi. Tara requirement ada kasi nga criminal record that can de kasi nga ri emroga ablur bela kabo sa list tertir decide rase first of all ayang medal blur gid oim dollar tir roid ding nga tokta nga nurs nga sedro sperin me ano seorgid. That's what we look at the malartigal kadiri ka lulungit tertira seng mo face hindi ka dil tal timer beto kortira me ten kada tangara PCC motura process employer samo interview tire kada match tire mo todo el mundo la idea is we want them to come a different experience ayer be brablo ngani atamori asim ne mara no kita de kada ngar stil ay gidelia we're a welcoming place kada suadal مرور تيال program رجيد المواضيع رجال بيت البلو kada welcome مرتير اوين issue ablu رجال لو trial السترا a president مالوين توك مرور سلوا سه ablu mama ablu ralla ما دور تيرخ رalla دي ador تيرخ رalla ليه ندري قال بيكورا سه واي تيرجيد هذا جيرين المر ablu ngari ngarabud كده سه اوي kada ملا تير دي دولار تير وقوارا تريتال دور تيرخ kada mala artil mail mel happy aurior kelo bangkamam aldi wa artiga lewi del tela la adrango del blur kira al sela blur bela mang mariar amel mo adran traction mariar amel sum sorry la adrasers aga it's the whole range other order hotel order restaurant so kida umra lo se tiangate al el mongir amrigel mongir tiara droror edri kan ngania aklonal mergi dar other bel so cell working group sea mo ngar aler el mo tira mo screen emro mo mes tigel first time so is brablur bela mal to katluloid dira tar trial adel merablur bela there's a process ma a first step ablur amrigel agir el senda gel udo del mergid my chief of staff Maria Udo del help PCC prepare themselves. Se la gode club say, engiamos el material adel. El tira blood screener tira working group tira me. So of course el damnas moda sen ari el Udo del mel o la seorgidra all tagar tira la, and that's everything from apply malubeng kada hire besel mobulis kada hire maybe kada more recruiter other bela ngara create bela me bulis and mer bela recruiter sensor ikral belal other belal mut return mere belal agigida opportunities through igal grants and other spell el helper other el mermel degal dil helper ti other on the blue degal helper other belal ikral blue belal mang al sumung area rodeng setial other belal kira ikral blue belal el sorry el meror government el al time area 200 el vacancies ra government they were ready to hire. Yeah, biggest vacancy, Minister Advisor Jenkins, Education, Minister of Justice, bla police. So please, molus el melo asa ging aram rigel namasom legor me how can you help us legor or me I think well gira de nomas agi del te al o sikrol so we're open to that. Adrigan mena sulle am rigel commitment tertil el molunga seor gidra law enforcement, disaster resilience. Madrid al Besro Hospital. Of course, ako lang announce ni sel pension plus yan nga so tiro to ko pension plan. Kita am dengan lo ase beto agaro sululdaso and that's democracy. But at the end of the day we have to make a decision. Sel decision adong lo ase multoira gruptoi sir other belao Michael lurungule other belao. Ngaria a newspaper amalsual broadcaster se tia di tal presentar murtri lurio ya olbi omtok ma arubugul bela omtok di bodo blagatak ar bebir arubugul bela omtok ar bebir senators omtok a house a support our governors a support our speakers to support Ragal Bekel State Marmasil belam to support. Egidam net magalor tel agreement. The only group in dimlagal mera egal agreement lo mesra sodel. Our senators setem refusal me. Ukle decision our president til was en dega adalego. And I respect that le decision til. Digida am de lo se tel belwada a free blue so everybody can make their own decision mo. Kada mrenga suli lo se tulo teo do suire mrenga sulir se lukne suggestion urti len floor leader a senate amal me suggest ase ngirel mrula working group so kada mrenga sulir se gidel suggestion adul tir clear ruling ndimo president a senate amne decide ase ndiga adra senate mo partra working group separation of powers whatever decision that you make len sometimes in morning sel issue lo ase como mo imura inguk madagi partra ila gidel el group por kami but anyway kaduk mo ege da focus rase mela al materialat agulito ase dual gamartir triga adiwai trigal botogol adlo uror al sela blur belaw el me dos pertil lorol help el malaget grab el wat ya pai vamos a hacer clote alo ase el al materialat el directo ciclo hace emigrado recruiter trial nalga dan amrigel maybe na mota men na mosori el muter merme raigel ral sedro yungi mal artil mera ablur bero le qadam ran son sara police en son sara ar sensei direct na son sara adro hospital mang akpade la se ngari ar bebe ran tractor mera la se ya gamam dal samra le tamlar mes se adra mexico mal modul adra traction makase hala first priority gi filayel ngaregel direct shortage ng government ma state government hindi ko sa tigal 75 balil din nga national ma state bola garat pat sa process kada mo regel ko to probable sabed malartigal adal may make sure to kada we're all ultimately ado sigenia mo ngil gira adra ablur bel so with that by the wateal kadam le decide ro ase ukhulngani atte lela igal hafra ministry so me question and answer the bora hada question and answer sure ala ka di mo do to mata
questions and the report put the prevent the design any more require ratification and
Yeah, there's no requirement OEK ratification. Lende kangaral the changing al ulbela.
Provisions natin related possibly hindi kaliban ng Lumelaw regarding acceptance na length of stay, removal of difficulties. For example, pagsarag si Dirami ang relative to Bali, length of stay, kasi ito high-tech let's say ang Bali may 2 years and now in Palau, it didn't say no. Tidak ada pilih lah. Aku be ingani yang ada boleh usul sebenarnya parlimen tak.
So process zoom kad mo send them back. Etrigal part ramon ala working group. Amo mesel el blue lo asim la mo safe el sender team mo. Me sender team. If they need to be sent home. Well, they should be following a law bela. I see. So, a law bela, assume they got a lot of transfer and they got seat transfer. Get it more me. That's problem. So one of the things that we wanted to make sure in MOU, I get blue that we have diplomatic relations with. They are need blue dollar. I get blue ngania. توقبت سلد الويل جدا لو بنتري ترجع أسد الموضوع دور كتير address هاي issue. That's one of the reasons why I gotta make sure that I get the blue only countries that we have diplomatic relations with. Yeah, second term bello. Oh, it's egida sedro spell. For example, help PCC upgrade PCC. Pay ma stay till for sure amount of time. I guess I don't but ngaria mla interpreting as 100,000 ama each no. Se ludo damera government bella I got speril المرو لاقي priority سرقيد الضمس عشان close to trail help رقيدرا assimilation ارتجال. So for example نصون housing رابرور بلاو let's make sure we have more housing رالسي رابرور بلاو. We need more police officers. Gotta hire more police officers. Again, they are restricted الموضوع ما رغلير ما لهم تكير تجلا. I think that's
what I want to
yeah. They are why you know there are Uyghurs that came or amraya self understanding was in my shit.
Mengkurangkan mereka berbela, mereka mau sparing el help assimilated meaning provide the housing whatever you need to osig already or something like that.
Yeah, help them get employed.
Yeah, last question pasti ala bebila. Sel MOU ngaringi language ringil wase ngaranga exit plan tirgal after me ngaringi audio lo bengela blo amrigel relocate them to another country al ubet tirgat kadamalartir forever.
So, just to give you some background, Blue Rock, Costa Rica, for example, took 300 of them. Yeah, within Tel Albuil, 150 mlamanahan. Tumle disel de Alsori Kera, Abalu. So that's just an example. The Abal 1 year, 150 mlamanahan.
They choose to go back to their countries.
They choose to go back to their countries. I think the rest of them, they are already.
I see. Balso kung mambal ko la si Almel, ngaya choice either to go back to their
Of course.
country, alu bet taman
Yeah.
mol mel under a
Uh-huh.
contract. They're not stuck here
They're
for
not stuck here.
forever.
Yeah.
Right?
And America lagi niya lo say trigger look mosoril manan. IOM will help them. We'll use the processor IOM will help to train more me. That was one of the things.
Ngaya role ra IOM ra
Yeah.
silsila mo yun.
I don't know. Siguro sila mo yung sila role. Yeah. Understanding rin lo say. Or ding ari obviously IOM martiya. So they will be the people that help rin ra.
Hindi ngaya choice. I read somewhere was it tigal may to passport. Tiga to la
To
passport
passport.
na buri.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So most of them nakiram regal more than a year. They're third country nationals. Namo are refugee asylum. Third country national is somebody nakira asylum regal for more than a year. Etamol tiginin asing ureo. Yung may claim ase. O ulak ngartiang mora bak pokre. So under uklar regal, they cannot grant them asylum. Lam lang alak karsel 1 year. So they can never, under asylum, mo other cell below. So they cannot ever grant them asylum. But some of them have been there 20 years, 30 years. So they have work permits, and then they can say kirsel. So same process at Gita other pa. Gita other pala, they can say they grant asylum, they can say they give out citizenship. Other they were all under a visa. So same process. Of course, ang regala, dire kalong lo say, abato kortir, ang arsel economic migrants. They're not there as asylum seekers. Gita position gita say, sedekal issue gita say, dire arad, dire los peanges. Cristiano all blue. We help them. Of course, at that choice, it was in sorry kirbela. Ano ba tam naman marigel puri. So that's why I say kada help from brigger o pala sirtir immigration or trial or total there. Help trial other tir o Spanish. Help problem bela at the same time. So it's a win-win for them.
Maluid tutaw. Talagariga mara Minister of Justice. Ngaria update the investigation regel escape del prisoner.
Okay. No me da katisi, question katisi. Oh, kada finish se. Electrical ministers area presentation or tirmo. Mga peso kal.
Victorio, tirgal 75 el may ngaria family tira tanto wal dil individual el adel may.
So, for example, a 75 number, that's the number of people. Also, mga abil, that's counted as part of cell 75. Also, mga alien, but they will counted as part of cell 75. Now, Tims kami example. Also, mga, let's say, nga toktang from Ukraine, that's all, el Merbela. Yeah. I would say, ang wil dungil toktang ay albiil. Adiri kung wil accept rang algel ma biil me. We need doctors. So that would, and that's up to the working group. Mo sa the special cases. Hindi cell intent gida kasi hindi karang algel. But in so many special cases, and it's a skill we really need and something in cell help gid. Kada mo evaluate tiga mas kita list. We decide. They can bring it decide. Munida say take these people. No. We decided was nga angel domra sen best fit in mer abelwa. Dire kam natingan mo ang regalo se. Wala dire kam som left ticket me der gid. For example, tingan gel deputy chief of staff ra a Trump say. What's his name? Stephen Miller. Was say akong da sa katinga ra huriping ama a Bangladesh ma agagidele igan kom la Richard 75. Letiga triala tang amrigela from all of these countries. Mo area Vietnam, area Indonesia, area Bangladesh, area. So actually because legalmente lang mo siya kung kaso marami similar culture kuma magit already small. I think one advantage that we'll get is because tigam na ura amrigel more than a year. team de toram brigel adi todo le hace se le gerde sum tangara California mila $20 hora al berbela $5 hora agale la calzal happy but Tigda, I think they're going to have to make an adjustment to Oxel, thinking at Tira, Mount Raudo. The Tigda, I'm not going to say Mutamam anyway. But that's why we want to welcome them. We want to make sure I said they understand that. They apply for Belau, Tigda, get earnings from other Belau, and they have to assimilate to that.
Last gariga di dai to ko dio gelwa se el akada malarar 75 ngaring ya ko ra oseng la government in the future al sugum tigal 75 so happen it mongin ngaring ya oseng la government el mutan mo extend el malarar mutan e la tang di tiay del 75.
Yeah. The real time, MOU
Yeah,
the
di say
Tackle
that.
the 75.
Okay.
I mean, there was I'm sure I'm regular, as well as the helper with more. Say, but that has to be our choice.
Kamal, the last question, President, why us? Ngaramang medical at Chusra Rubella, Kamal, but to come Balul, allies at the Ngaram.
Yeah, they offer more. I got to call Balu. It's our choice.
Offer to everybody, so
Yeah.
just one of them.
Yeah.
So, kung nasa ating question again,
Mala dolngite naya questioner mare moje bai sokol kora mistira rueram satel questioner tire hada mistira te al bal present geluk ora update ra ministry tire gel el challenges gel celebrate ma gel ora osingira el maral merra ya gimle dice do sen ukti foreign ministry se lang next press conference and the other four ma ela domura education special advisor Chengin sen momre Emo Minister Victor, and then ang Minister Olgaril, and I tell what to talk to Minister. Anyway, okay. So, habang Minister Jenkins.
It's a rare opportunity for me to talk doing the education system. More time than I'm supposed to. I apologize in advance. The challenge which we face upon coming into the Ministry of Education basically were threefold. Number one, our facilities were antiquated and inadequate for what we needed to do. Number two, we had many people in teaching positions who may or may not have been qualified academically to be teaching those positions. And three, our curriculum was outdated and put in a way that is not facing the real world as we face it now. And all those challenges put together resulted in our students' achievement in learning was below what we knew them to be capable of. So we trying to address these three major areas. This past year, everybody has seen what's happened to our schools in Karor particularly, but in all of the schools from Angar up to Kayangal, to make them better learning environments for our kids. We had studies done prior to instituting some of these issues that our classroom temperatures were 88 degrees or above all day long. That's not a good learning environment. It was obvious that air conditioning was something which needed to be done. And so we began small with starting with just 2 schools, Nortmo, which was really instituted by Ambassador Orikasa, who came up and saw it and said, "This is such a pathetic school, I'm going to fix it for you." And he did that, and it was really rather embarrassing for me, but very grateful that he was able to do that. And he gave us the stimulus to look elsewhere, what we could do. So we have, in that time, this year, we have put in new air conditioning, new windows, and new wiring to take care of the additional power load in Nortmau, Nortlong, Imalik, JFK, Peleliu, and Engar. All those schools are now, classrooms are now fully air conditioned. So the temperatures are adequate. They're much better for learning environment. That's one major issue which we did. Then looking at the schools in Karor, where almost 2/3 of our students attend schools here in Karor, those schools were in really dilapidated condition, and some they were overcrowding, and so we were looking for ways to bring them up to speed and find ways to alleviate the overcrowding, particularly in Corps Elementary School. And thankfully, through the COFA negotiations, grant money was available to us to renovate those schools. And as a result, this past year, getting them ready for the games, a place for the people who are coming to participate in the micro games, having places to stay, which were clean, new, and adequate for their purposes. We renovated Palau High School, obviously, Munes Elementary School, Corora Elementary School, and Harris Elementary School, all of which were used during the micro games. And the renovation it's a slow, tedious process in many ways. We had to put in new roofs, all exterior painting, all interior walls were painting, new air conditioning units with the additional needs for better wiring. The floors needed to be done. We had to install ceilings. Many of our classrooms do not have ceilings. And upgrade the doors and security barriers. We had doors that were basically made out of very plastic, but you could open. All of that was done. We had to get most of that done during the period before the games began, and much of it was completed by that time. As you can see, the total projected cost for just the renovation here was about $8.5 million, which is a really good deal considering what we've gotten, what we've received. And if you go to the next slide, please. Okay, now this is Palau High School. I don't know about you, but I was embarrassed by the condition of Palau High School when I came by it every day. The condition of the roofs, there was leaking going on. It was just not in good shape. It's a brand new school. It's a beautiful school now. We have every single classroom has now been renovated. I won't bore you with all of this, but we've done it from the roof to the floors of all of those buildings now. So every classroom now in Palau High School is a comfortable environment. Things which we might not have realized, and not having a ceiling is a real problem because the acoustics are not good. You're bouncing sound off the walls, as well as temperatures are bad. So we had to install acoustical ceiling tile on all those, which necessitated new lighting fixtures for all the schools. So that's been a major issue. We go to the next one. That was $5 million. This is what it looked like before, and it really doesn't do justice to how bad it really looked. But all those you're looking down at the roofs, and they're all rusted, and they've all been replaced now. Go ahead. And that's what it looks like now, with the new buildings, the new parking facilities, which have just been added, make it a much better place for people to go. And more importantly, a better place for students in the classrooms to learn. Okay, thank you. Next. Another view. There's still some work going on because when you renovate, sometimes you find out things that you didn't know were wrong, and you have to fix those. So that's still going on, but we really tried to work the scheduling around it, and Principal Reding really did a great job, and the faculty there were great at moving classes around so that they weren't negatively impacted. There was some impact on noise, but basically it was a very safe environment, and now it's, I think, certainly worth the time. It's a beautiful facility now. You'll notice in the bottom left-hand corner, new shower facilities, so students after PE can actually take a shower, which they couldn't do before.
Yeah, I know when Minister Olgril and I went to school, you couldn't use the bathrooms. And of course, there was no air conditioning, so.
Yeah, I had students come into my office across the street to use a bathroom in our building because they couldn't use the bathroom in the school. And we have a slide of one of those bathrooms, and they're really nice now. Okay, we'll get to that. Coror was another school which was in terrible shape. And now it's beautiful. In fact, as I walked down to go into the office after the renovation, I walked right past the door. I didn't recognize the office. It's changed that much. New doors, new windows, new paint. Everything's beautiful now. Again, this was about a $2 million project, but that's for 500 students, and the high school is 560 students. So there's significant numbers of students being positively impacted by simply improving the facilities. Okay, let's see if we can. Yeah, that's Coror Elementary School before. Yeah, play. That's after.
So that's not AI generated, huh?
We couldn't do that good a job. Okay, but now you can see that they look more like schools.
That was a drone picture that we
Much
actually took, right?
Yeah. And the parking area, of course, at Corral Elementary is going to be a problem no matter what we do. Although the principal has come up with a very, I think, innovative idea, they're going to be opening up another access door or gate so that parents won't have to come to that one gate to get through. So they'll be able to get access to the school via another area. Okay, thank you. This is the building that really impressed me, is when you looked at it. This is before. And if you look at the roof, it's not a bad roof, but that's what if you look at it, it's warped. And it has more than one seam. The new roofing is what do you call it? Single seam.
Standing seam.
It's not two pieces put together. It's one long seam. So there's much less chance of leakage and they're aluminum, so rust shouldn't be a problem either. Okay, thank you. Again, here's a close-up of that building. It's a beautiful building now. This is what it looks like inside. That's the bathroom nobody could use. I'm embarrassed to say how we maintained it. This is a boys' bathroom. You can see because of the what do you call it? Modesty panels by the urinals. If something was broken, we'd put a plastic bag around it so it couldn't be used, and that was considered fixed, and that's no longer the way it is. And if you look at the classrooms, and this is the office right here, which is much better. It's just a general purpose classroom. Notice the desk. The desks are not rectangular, and that's on purpose. Because with this shape, as you can see, you can put them together in a semicircle or a complete circle. So the teacher can actually be involved with more than one student at a time by being in the center of that circle. The other thing is we had students sitting on chairs that were designed for high school students, and they were in kindergarten, so their feet never touched the ground. And you can imagine what your legs are like after 8 hours without your feet being able to touch the ground. They came up with some very innovative ways to dress. And of course, you'll see that there's a widescreen TV in there. The teacher's using that for the instruction. This is the cafeteria. Again, and the cafeterias are also air conditioned and comfortable, so it's a very nice environment all the way around. Okay, thank you. Thanks. Harris was had a different difficulties. We were able to do it fairly quickly. Go to the next one. It was only 800,000, and basically the doors had to be changed. It needed to be painted. We needed new windows. We needed new security screen and new roofing, and all of that has been accomplished. There were some more bathrooms made, and for special education, a shower room was designed for them. So, okay, thank you. That's what it looked like before. And there it is now. Okay. Again, more parking area, which it had almost no parking at all. And a new sign. Okay. Outdoor hand washing stations, which were available before the renovation, but they were improved. And that's for sanitation, and these are shower rooms for the Harris kids as well. Munes basically had almost a brand new school. The cafeteria had collapsed, so that was taken out, and we built a new cafeteria, and then a new gymnasium right next to it, and so and then with the usual replenishing of the classrooms. There's before. This is after we removed the destroyed thing, and then
Cafeteria.
yeah, after.
That's before.
And that's after. The gymnasium over here is only half covered, but it's there. The thing in the middle there, that's the cafeteria room. The cafeteria looks a lot better when you're in it. You know, that's a concrete roof. It needs to be water blasted, it looks like. Okay, okay, thank you. Yeah. Okay. And this is where there was still some construction going on at Munes. Essentially what's happened is that the school was very cut up into small pieces with a cafeteria right in the middle of the school, and so everything revolved around that into small chunks. With that being removed and put off to the side, and then the gym being stationed even farther out, it opened up the entire middle of the school for playground use for the kids. And these are just some various shots around there. Again, more bathrooms for the kids, and then a general purpose classroom here. Again, the same type of desks are there, but you'll see some are taller, some are shorter, because they're all adjustable to individual student sizes. Okay, so that's what has been done so far. And the future is, you may have noticed we didn't talk anything about IRI Elementary School. That's because we're going to build a new school in IRI, and go ahead. And that's what it's going to look like. It's going to be built on the same site. It'll be larger, more classrooms, and it has specific 3 classrooms identified going to be for special education program. Physical therapy, hearing, speech therapy, and then a life skills class. Okay. It's 2 stories, but it does have elevator use, so for people with disabilities, not a problem. All of these special education classes are on the first floor. That's them. Now this is the Despodal School, which is being planned for Ngesar, and this will be a early childhood through high school facility, and very much a community facility, we hope. This is going to be located, this is a 300,000 square meter lot, which is half of the lot which size we have. And this is basically going to have full classrooms for high school, elementary school, and early childhood. Housing off to the right-hand side here for faculty, and full gymnasiums, cafeterias for both age groups, and then full athletic facilities for the tennis, football, track and field, softball, and baseball. Okay, that's all planned. We now have the land use agreement, correct? Yeah. So we're ready to start moving to the next stage on that one. Okay. That's the land. What do you call it? The terrain and how it fits in. But the school on that upper is fairly flat. Won't require too much in the way of earth moving. Mm-hmm. Again, just moving back into an elementary classroom just to see how nice they are. They're really very nice. They're a lot better when the kids are in them, but sorry, I didn't have time for that one. And one thing which I felt was, now that we have people visiting us from Korea, Japan, and Taiwan as students, I was always a little embarrassed by the conditions of our school when they received, because they're coming from these high-tech schools, etc. And ours were not quite up to snuff. And I think right now we have nothing to be concerned about. We can be very proud of the condition of our schools. I know the kids are. They really like it. In fact, I had one parent come up and complain their child doesn't want to come home anymore because their house is not air conditioned, but their classroom is, and so they're happy with that. All that's been done by the Bureau, by the school operations, with Director Ray Maol coordinating all of that. So he's been a very busy guy. Okay, all right, now. The next thing which I wanted to chat on just for a bit would be some of the other things which they're doing. We have new school buses for students that arrived last January. They're all 66-seater buses. And what they've done is, by getting the new buses, we have a much better route usage by the kids from Babeldaut coming into Karor. They used to have to take 2 trips because they couldn't hold everybody. Now they run down one Despodal and one at Cupu. So it works out very nice. The other thing, which I found amazing, they're digitized. The drivers all have, what do you call them, iPads. And what they will do is every day as they move, it records the mileage, the number of students, and the amount of gas which they use. So we'll be able to have not only a daily online tracking of that, but also we'll be able to make, after time goes on, generalized statements as we know how much gas we're going to be using and all of those sort of things. So that's a big plus on that. And they were all trained, the bus drivers were all trained by the staff, and so they all know how to use them, and It's working well. The next thing, which we really sometimes is overlooked, is the free breakfast program. Free breakfast program has made a tremendous impact at schools. It has not only got students coming to school earlier, but also more importantly, they don't want to snack as much because they've had a breakfast. And our meals are all designed by nutritionists. We had 2 this past year, one from Taiwan and one from Japan, who were able to get really high nutrition meals on it. And thanks to the Taiwan agriculture station for providing us with a lot of fresh vegetables at no cost, which was very, very nice. And thanks to the Ministry of Health and Human Services, we plan on restarting the food for the homebound this coming January. As soon as we get back in school, we'll get that back going, started up. That'd be great. Okay.
I think
Now-
we need to also clarify that the Ministry of Health is paying
Yeah.
the school for that
Yeah,
service.
none
so
of this is
it's not
taking
con-
food from our children.
Yes,
This is-
just make sure
the
that's-
Ministry of Health and Human Services is paying for it. Okay. Okay. Now, why are we doing this? What do we get out of all this work? What you have here is, this is a longitudinal study of class of 2024, 25, 26, 27, and 28. The reason you use a longitudinal study is to track progress. You eliminate variables of the study because the same students are being tested from year to year. We started with year 2021, which is the year before we began implementing the year-round calendar, the reading programs, and the new programs in the schools. And you will see the blue is our Iowa test score average for each grade, for each class as we went through. In the year 2021, they scored in the 28th percentile.
So, Advisor, it's the same students
Same
tested
students.
at 2 different times,
Yes,
4 years apart.
yes, yeah, correct.
Okay,
Okay?
just making sure.
And so by the time the 4 years later, they had moved from the 28th percentile to the 40th percentile. Now, that's a percentile. The percentile is the percentage of students who score below you.
Sure.
So essentially, with a 12 percentile change, they went over 350,000 students. They improved faster than those other students did. So basically,
So-
what they're telling us is, we're really good. We're really smart kids, and we can do this. And if you look at the next
let me
slide-
just explain in Palau. Tel dome senire lang a otiangal gar ngosisil ngal el graduate ra 2024 anding kadidiri kan was keng ngir sera 2021 mga osisil ngal kan mo mesrim mesel
before and after.
sera was keng ra 2021 am la tigedel percentile albora a 2024 am lambas ra 28 and mo 40. So sel percentile sel sumung tiel trigero kul melara test al sumung ngara 50 ese wal average trigero kul melara test ra al sel ablu ram briger rogir egida include the tir ngara a 50 would be average of the waskuram briger.
We're getting there.
So ngegi del ngal gara 2021 or sige the class ndekal ngal kan netia ngo arang la class ngari arang arba ngari ondi sel arang la class amle 28 elang lamas mo 40. Misal class graduate 2025 amle 29 elang 49 undi otiro aseng mral morba.
These are remarkable improvements. I mean, they're very, in 4 years, they have almost doubled their ranking and improving their scoring. And this is the same test, the same norm group being compared to as they go through. So it's a very even test. Okay? All right. Now, some people will say, well, you only showed us the 1 point. This is the same thing. This is the class that graduated in 24. These are their scores from the year 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Again, same group of students as they went through. And you could see that prior to 22, when we began the new programs, they were basically in the 25th, 28th, 30th, and 28th percentile. That was basically their average kid in that score. The first year, when the only thing we really were able to implement the first year was the year-round calendar and some new education programs, but not much. They went up to the 35th percentile. The following year, the same group of students went up to the 40th percentile, and that's when they graduated. So we lost, that's where they went. So, okay. Okay, next. Same thing here. I wanted to show you this because it's not just one group that's making dramatic gains. It's a lot of kids who are doing well. Same thing. This is the class of 25. This is the class that just graduated last May. And when they were in the grade 5 in 2018, they were at the 20th percentile. In grade 6, they were at the 21st. They went to the 30th. They dropped down to the 29th. New programs began in 22. They went to the 34th percentile, 37th, and 39th. So if you compare their pre and post, pre-testing being 21, where they were at the 29th percentile, post-testing being at 24, where they were at the 39th percentile, that's a 10 percentile change. 300,000 kids that they passed. Okay. Now, this is the same thing. You'll notice this goes to 25, because this is the first year we could go all that far. Again, grade 4, 24th percentile, grade 5, 26, 20th percentile, 25, 21 percentile, or year 21 in grade 7, they were at the 29th percentile. New programs began in 22, they went to 36, 34, 35, and then 41 last year. Okay. And this is the class is 20, they will graduate in 27, so they're what, sophomores? Yeah. Again, back when they were in 3rd grade, they were at the 22nd percentile. 4th grade, 24th percentile. 5th grade, 25th percentile. 6th grade, 25th. That's the pre-test. New program started, they went up to 32, 34, 37, and 45. Okay. And this is next year. Again, back in the 3rd grade, 20. We can't go back any farther than this year, the 18th, because we don't have any data. That before they switched, I guess they used the SAT, and we don't have that data. So we got the 28th percentile, 26, 27, 26. So very consistent around there. The new program started and we go up to 34, 44, and 42. So they have a little dip there. But again, these are changes, major changes in their learning, because this is a measure of learning. Okay? That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Advisor. I know the press conference has been going on for a long time, and even one of our members of the media has left. And we have 3 more ministers to cover. So I think we've decided we're going to postpone it to the next press conference to continue this briefing by, let's just open it to, Ado kororita amne idea sa kabara local ministry sila di man lang mo kamala press conference man bring asulala advisor chengin suluk nam skida update ra to kora skulet by egelu restaurant ministry bon next press conference di so kan hotel mas kami mo kamagera ager and more tigaro kon ministers mang apda seminary minister ger more minister justice siloger yeah Aru mo present lang di beri ang next press conference.
Ngari update ra investigation ng escaped prisoner.
Ang masaula karim ngel escaped prisoner na mudem ra mid afternoon or early. He's currently back in custody. Ngari nga case tamrula gaisel gel lotutak karing gel escape to include the gel Giblam identifier or providing assistance. So that's actually a criminal offense, aiding and abetting. So there's cases being compiled for both his escape and for persons we've identified and aid and abetting.
Follow-up question now para President. At sila tarrak naman niya thrill escapes, a fatal knife attack, and an inmate who was set on fire and later died. Magtalgarigakmu, how do you justify signing an MOU to accept 75 third country nationals from the United States to live and work in Palau when Palau's justice system cannot currently keep its own inmates safe or securely in custody?
Okay. That can make sense of the question. What do the third country nationals have to do with the jail? I think the third country nationals are not criminals, so they're not coming to the jail.
No, I'm not saying they are criminals. I'm
Oh.
asking for the safety.
Safety.
Based on our
So, agera ase, trigal adal me. Tamadagaring al adal mo ula gira del momada. No, trigal trigal madagaring al. Sebla da sodi. Kadamla smodil wase. Trigal ada criminal record. Trigal dollar tin mera blur vela. Maria process el boda acceptri. Abay si adal duli ase. Abay process el dogi wingi because ang namni grant. Abay mo help prabla bulis. Say abay, that's the positive thing. I'll say the third country national agreement. Abay namo maskida angeso. Al mo help prabla bulis. One and a part ra bol maskida amregela $2 million in assistance. Ilgira law enforcement and security. All separate. So the question was we have challenges in the Department of Public Safety. Number one challenge, there's not enough people that are working. I say, gigadara dit advertise edo sigarar at yedigar adame. Awulak ploduli sel tolo ase glebla time el dosi krola di incentivize ran lagi dengan ikrela blur belau el sorin mobulis el lutelme. In fact, ngani awon emle email nga makka. We're trying to find ways. I say, what resources can we use? El sismi krola el ngoy titiril me lang ngani am na sorin me. To say this home lego maybe help program airfare or whatever again help ablabulis because instead masada a problem but we need solutions. Yeah, a solution we need people. Yeah, another one, we need a new prison. The question I say we need a new prison and we've been working on it. May part representation lang and at the end of the day we also need money. But how do you pay for these facilities? You need money. How do you pay to bring these people here? You need money. So, the agreement that third country nationals helps us improve our justice system. So, I guess that answers your question. Say, how do you justify? So maybe that's the reason. Okay, Sula. Minister, similar. Kami chairman ng committee.
So, Presidente, pero kami sufficiently ka others are saying that guktura third world nationals madibok to nga di SSL and there's no question that Blila Kalbusirgi they have been extremely challenged in the past recent months to a year. So the challenges ra Blila Kalbus are compounded by a continuing and deteriorating and physical structure that adds on to we have congestion which increases the rate of escapes. Matelol ko rin President was saying shortage of manpower. May nga ringil continual existing components it's a difficult facility lang. Some of the solutions that we're looking at the Lore the Telbes prison facility and sel next will temela briefing and mo sabi update ri the MPIL was kada mesel badula February as early as February el mo sabi el move el more segi dia ya uriora ambral girela reforms that continue to address I the security risks that are existing within this deteriorating facility to include a recent reshuffling division heads. The identify again el challenge el divisions el time ngaringiya reshuffling el angal mo sabi el moringiya focused attention on what we've declared to be priority divisions to address. So, those are just some of the things that we are doing at the Ministry of Justice lang al-address ay gigit immediate needs lang security needs that we're addressing it. We're able to talk more about it thersel bol nga comprehensive. Mr. President, hindi mo lesukan address thersel len no doubt about it. It's in the papers. It's everywhere. Mang ginadalok mo sa sel din.
And I think one of the things that the and we're working on cell vessel correctional facility rin. Unfortunately, hindi mo although there are a national government instead of the Lula correctional facility. Madam le tuira grant. I want to have the turia sera turo avis amlo oli terablo Taiwan la sega dos peangeso. Tial facility correctional facility. De algira de los per sel terminal prison and kita more sel tia rehab center. Mang hoy mlaria al director sera lungar araureo marchibra before. One of the things that has been done namo area all out rural el trial finish. In fact, in area five contractor, 4 contractor el planning to tira minister rural sel prison el trial rural and I'm sure soon we will see pictures before and after. Seguida undas and crowd to tell we know what saying we need a facility. Tribun masa chasing a basketball court maktia. The rule gym and the gym ra a basketball court to say. But you know, those are important things. They need to get outside in the sunshine, get in rule airs and get in that facility will allow them to do that. Give so other make sure that Tilora have an opportunity to come back and be productive members of society. Mang Maral constrain the Ministry of Justice, the Minister of Young, Maradala Malblagandir, they're doing everything to ensure sel gotten brother hopefully earlier part of this year, Taragi Moro lang making sure PPUC connected dengi. Say close Luriol make sure and happen and Aramamang Samal di connected tial vessel line and Lamrul. Other Shabrase, ilang transmission line. A problem kami other Palau, am may transmission line. Edi connect to Kublai Mangal Mori, maulan di makmada tengir kami. Upobe urela transmission line, mal transmission. Kami agirul and Marura distribution line. So, timas kami idea. Cell distribution line and Bolorunia PUC mo connect to cell. So, almost $1 million. Ara lado pa cell tengir mo cell facility. So, get cell bottom reg at facility doruri. We're going to spend probably close to 7 or 8 million. They are getting closer. Nga said was close cell mo budget and more skura irai. But that's the value arang and we want to help them. So, team na so say either clore project and it takes time. So, the CIP, public work, new management. And they're doing everything. They've already shown us, I get a school, we're done in record time. Siyempre, all out, spread our work, to contractor, complete. Now, same effort, correctional facility, in the prison. Sulang.
Sulang Victoria, Happy New Year, Miroko ye. Ekonom ko lang po malumlo ko pero next press conference Jenkins ang ko atim le so kalogera fuel gel kirela program maulmang arngal geta improve. So the local was ela kam no masata PSL program mlam moringi maulmang mlang mas arngal ka man na improve. Ngaray gel ko ra PSL program el ml share el luul marngal geta man na improve ay gal scoring retir.
Thanks for asking that because I didn't have that. I have it in my proposal, but I got cut. Basically, what we need to do is to try and give students different pathways to their future. And what we've been doing in the past too much has been going, everybody does the same thing. So what we've done is we've differentiated instruction at the high school. level to where instead of having one class of math, there'll be 3 classes for them to choose from, some of different levels and different orientations. And then as they go through, there's flexibility so they can go back and forth between one area. Students who, let's say, might be strong in English, but they're not interested in math, they can take the lower level math class and the higher level English classes. The other thing which we're doing is with the advanced placement program that is operating right now, that will raise the level of the entire school. Because we're giving opportunities not only for the geniuses, but the normal students can do the AP program. I've seen it done in other areas. It's not impossible. It just requires good discipline. So that's another area that we need to work on. The other is in the elementary. We've been asking teachers in the 4th, 5th, 8th, 9th, or 8th, 7th down to teach every subject. And that's not realistic, because not too many people can be an expert at that level in math, science, English. So we now have departmentalized the elementary school, where teachers who are strong in math are teaching multiple grade levels of mathematics, science, etc. on down. The other would be our academy programs. We're getting students out into the field more. Our new teacher academy that just started, they are actually visiting schools on a regular basis to see if they really want to be involved in that. In our now business academy with our financial literacy course that'll be coming in next year, they're interning now with the Ministry of Finance, and so they can get an idea as to what that's like. So to open up their horizons a little bit. Finally, I think it just seems like as I went to the students' play, which the high school play, which was Mean Girls, which I had no idea what it was about until it started. These kids have so much talent and so much ability. They had everything from the lights to the action to the music. Everything was done by them. We need to get more programs like that in the schools. We're starting a bicycle club where students can get out and do some exercising and ride bicycles in a competitive way, instead of hanging out and doing things we don't want them to do. The other thing which we need to do is, I was thinking we need to start expanding our programs. For example, in some of the kids who mock trial or moot court, those type of programs for students to be able to, need to find more things for students to have. It's like if you have a big piece of the pie, athletes have a big piece and certain other kids have a big piece, but there are some kids who don't really have a piece of the school. So we need to find more ways of giving them their piece of the pie.
And then the last last two, kamle mention alwasing bus drivers samlamo sa baril truck alwasit tetelar ngal ke so forth. Ngaring ya ko raw to swela education mo mga tmokra attract arngal gal gora di umsin del dio tengwal sub il truck bus alwase girel ger men di albol misrabas matamre del monitor ti albas alwase ngarangar along elatigi del nato dangar along emerald batul ngaral marangal gamre del mong men di al misrabas. I mean, kokoramle mention ng yer ngal ga ko gora high tech makora dimle soal gora okay rakal wase.
Yeah. Flexibility is important, right? Building a high school in the middle of the island will help a great deal. That'll give students 2 places to go rather than just one. The other would be, as we're working with Palau High School online, students in Kayangal, Peleliu, and Angar can stay in their village and take their courses online. That's another area, but that's not the best area, but it's a big help for those kids.
So
the last president.
wala nga yamalungil gere jene gida la bay geder shakran gida mola batam le basa ngare schedule ri misir el time ngire ngarse inde qablu kul tragarin they should know la ngire ngarse el basho, but you know indi close to trail sel logoria advisor kida mena se angala sel top drangar along el oral mascul en pedal tal siga matedo ngarabas التال سيجان ما تدور البوري سو غير سيجان نغرا بس تال سيس اولم كلو تترل سكورا ببلدا اما هي بريدم تيجان الغا مقاده بالتامل الترا نغرا بس نقدس هذا بايسورا اما لو سمرير مساعده يجي بس البروجرام الدورو لما تمخ دي كده مثلا اورورا مينستري اديوكيشن از هوليستيك كده نغرا قال المرا تيبل المرا باس المرا ابلاي المرة أو نصير سنسلم الأبجريد تير المرة تريتار أمسوما evaluation year round calendar electronic grade book different reading test marangalaga also mga 5th grader and mo 2nd grade level itungul mura aselo mo yung 2nd grade at telo banggelo together banggel 5th grader ay kita akakarosel niya amot makarogoy help rangalged mong moral mesasel el true potentiality sel niya el ruling I think kita unlock sing may Victor unlock sel potential rangalged brol el ses ling song sa teal kita sa teal modega excuse nga sel ngusel hotel ngarba belum tasuri ling ayer rogul dong los pe angari kita
Lekmlor sele ribbon cutting raheris. Akmral mlo surprise the air condition na igal classroom ma molmu tawum by swada limita madada tial galgal tele be esatable mangada merenga suli wendi ngora swada mom dingel wase ngeda a minister Olgarin me mention wase mal na deteriorate the Department of Corrections kada dire kamlo me saigal siya sing lulol ta Special Advisor Jenkins ngara ko ra future plan ra administration mo make sure was ngarngi schedule ra maintenance de dil staff cleaner igal ministry ngarngi adel sabe adel make sure was ngaya experience ngil make sure was igang ade al deteriorate pa adam asangal losigaw daw del mo mga tmok laigal maintain ra building le pebira time gatat muraigal of alwaya a capitol ebebirata me or tolla de alurior mar ada ku titmu marale de accent sensulwase halex padia adel walo ngara mal make sure bol check ringi alup tial light tatan mal hale ko to ra di accent reng masel passional as a citizen and wase kadam satal mal hale kum ko to ngara adel ngara tial lurar mal gat maklim kadam la moy tak medal ngara 8 million madaringel ra a school mang swadal goramo o Mr. Segi del direction ra administration wase magarabolo at mokal girela tetelela di aldin maintenance sa school but overall el siya single sabi edel di kadulutan mo o mautian kum asang losigaw daw del mga moklay gang
so tila malungil question point ra ya kumralo sesel moral first del dolmira arandira arbekla واسه تدخل السكولة قبل ندخل السكولة لا أضرنا بعض مسكولك من قال غلق المصبرة بينجو لقم ترغاق لا التوم اللي بينجو هل متمال مريض رئيس برينسيبول من السؤال مريض المغتموك لا أمرال الامبورتانت اللي مول مونجر نكس لغلق سوبقي التوم اللي you know this is how we act sometimes أمرال جيرا لو مكلاك تراد واسه treat the facilities, they will blame you. Take care of them. Clock leather role those. Of course, a public work, but within Ministry of Education, a maintenance department. But there enough trial other good mock like a so sometimes a private has to come in and moment mock like a and director of public work, Dir other malamra pulara le namadakal enough higher tiraga naman sa quality privatized. So I think what's important a process cell management. Mga close to trela a CIP is come up with a management plan. And we go get a contractor, white trigal contractor and miru legal school. Look longara lo say there's a maintenance contractor always igel leng trige madang problem and how to fix them. Akura and that's something that we have to work on. One good thing digit maklia under a compact en se grant el mera blur belaw di blur amrigera de lo ase kami ade kam decide wasa galo do dong morger mora maintenance 5 million at top del mora maintenance el momente na igel klalo gimo mokra adra amrigera so that's the good news so there is money for the next 20 years that there's money to continue and maintain our facilities. Of course, nga isel 5 million for infrastructure, but that's why yung other upgrade nga. Last lecture kasi, gudumre nga sulala advisor Jenkins, el time yung minister, yung tiradra kang paktel mora malagayo, tiradra mriga kalula adron kasi, kaya maltal mal school tia ang waisay, mga se Minister Jenkins sa director kasi, o yung kamal mrul adra mriga na mo 80 years el the other bela waisay gal school. And you know, Mildal Mararandir, so one of the things that when we ask lo asingirang although the girla maintenance, never to say 5 million for maintenance because they saw the need. Ese de calcela other all bill mawasari like more maintenance. Part el approval grant. We have to remember, we do the other American to mess up problem. I say, come on, some Mayaludam, Apollo like. I think that's direcal dilugi kasi es el imora dudam 20 million se manda kal siro bal mora ang other to ngirel more education ma health ngari am sorry ma state government no I like state government degal bor all bill mal dal bora officer president mal di mora justice education health so give them understand the legal grant trigal grant to lomski da liga ay gaw do dir masantan sensori wase mela selbo moit mora will lomitel mga dongir rowi so anyway ishira yegi
Ya di last tu gori ke Victoria itel amora minister iyal nganiar adara bliol wase como le dispersa udir endi kom end up dim lamo ay sa ahead of time wase kom didakta 4% del tax malsum sabe emel goras mo di say mel bol batak to ase singla adang
biar sulang echenega tobak klulu do de kau reminder tirtial di gereli ngelu national government ma endi sela amal blakatak ngarala ma a director atak sa elwe o lumaktat karama mluasing ngala el girela rokuil atal el haraoring mang kadulu ay siringil mortil en kita tiada dungar lirar bekla adal giril matangi elula balurir hindi mararing ya giret al matangi ya altandim na ku ay siringira awulel niguk kadam hamlo meri kadal was kadam marange meri adal ngutial ngesul may malpol sa beri tirgal adal kora maungila ka ikale Christmas ma a New Year holiday sertir adi gire lugi larungu dul ngia wasay al sugum dartel basenta en mal dia wal basenta ako tuwa badal mora akabalmente mga uspe eringil el guk masyora ay el services el tira aw masyora adal gire lamang
mentel netela taxer tial aruf tiay del amount
yeah 4 cents awal mo iten mera government sel total amount raudo del el mlera blur bela lo bala mar selutum 127 million
wow
so sel wasing mura amsang la government rebelaw medele million mga kadigo trulen ngangel malem re dro se tektia de gal taxable ngakunda sura PGS till 10% makbla amal mura adra ablura blile lo ase disel 4% tau imoralla luk tim sa da tokora utum de galo dega 10% lo la government disel 4% se modalin ngam katatalla nani rangaramol me se yida amal mol manngari include utum dega dilis include a transfer ang idil utum mang asedro ase segura contribution or trial adra blilion mura arangale lablur belaw ersel uk sengelingilo
Yati
de mal dimre ngasulir olgi tra clausubes ra Maybe mlotri turgam kasi ngado kution da sur LPG still 10% mlabe sa setengare imo la
Ay,
ase.
dimlia 4%. Adilas telgari ke Victorio ngaringi other belal ngaringi account tira igal FDIC like Bank of Oima, Bank of Guaming. Ya blue ramrige lawal blal sanction ra alubang tamla free sa account tir mang ngora swat el gorati al sukumen sab el gorati smodil wase ay geng wangarate telel leng gorangarngi amla gora o mondal wasen di hal sabrin malaudu dirling tamla free sa account tir mang al sukum mang gora di swa kalo spare tel wase aguger ka mang pora other dari direct tokoro spare tiang al lo oti educator other belal partner especially other asinal wase
Morgi.
o gire den mo kargi mang gora di swa kalo ger se leng de harole el ngau tu del el mol mutai gal gombali tin mang wal blal freeze mang tawase da lilyak kalbalu yet ya bluram rigel amla so is brabalwa bel marulay ga igit mang siya ko rati last tel girige.
Well, sel yegil togora financial crimes. Asing money laundering kada yegil togol gombalira signal mlar bela niyam le involve igal activity marora ududira adra blula. I think one of them 15 billion and telegam clol amount rawdo. So ngogi usegi damrigila taragoto clol krisi lobang atriga control igal bang blula. Mang sel sugum the sanction. Tadis tobra gombali model sel mubawdudel. In fact, the shipping registry tirigel other may involve shipping registry amlori ang clear ngare association or til mlora Iran kombalin ngara Iran masera bol wai shegid etya dimle freeze el model sedel mitenti so oi gadele aqal blundi banking system rablulada everybody is part of it mang sel bol wai se segid el office of foreign assets control se OFAC سيدي سيل دي وريق ضوضو دراني دي البنغرا السيلا بلولا that's سيقلي سيلو بان especially البنغرا امريكي الغربي لا بنغ فاواي بنغ باسيفيك يا بنغرا امريكي من نموت الكلوك تشيرين من مرال كلوتو تلا بضون الترير أضل كذا أو شابالو من الترير مغرقيك لين السوم kami mila ayer gombali mila udo malutira mila udo der triye del el gombali mlar belal me adra ye del gombali ayer del type prowler ngari possibility temo osara udo dir semral sel happen mang
Isbil osmaria business mang completely el angwal plan maasim kel tarasyo right.
Porque choba una no me da el ngitinting ada el open a bank account pues no me da el move udo that's exactly what happened to the shipping registry basically tiam la shutdown dem la me da el ngitinting no me da el receive of payment no me da el perarade e udo da din al la bank da el meruto of course en ngarele ngel other belao mayal el momodura FIC maybe helper til maduro faglo sendia mama uktiga connection and gawan mortirgay they need to go through that process but seguida and it's a lengthy process iremrigira de seguida klisi lobang togora dim nom lagal dile adar rasial dikmer de rapport trafishit tuta seguida klisi lobang I know I guess togora police rablulat and said police rablulat through that mechanism yeah Clau tutrela mral doña se toata do show valo mantri egel top the report emla identify el gombali marad ayer del muy ayer del medina no se ngari impact ni ma al sugum kawa adal el mleo shoba lo mentir or make sure that you're clear. Okay. Moro idertir. Ile sel lul suela meriga rakti miskma aldas. Tase on dia. Tiga tu sisirat di tuk mlangul transferring ini morangge. Ya teatri kamal mol. Maula tadi Catherine Raul. So
Sulang Happy New
maran
Year.
bringa. Tiga le adara shipping registry se kama madi. Tadi mla OSS mama merogo da sammitanti. Miguel kia se lola pulang arab dingi ragi da se lola ba awresta. Frozen. Yeah. Ciao.
Diba?
Bigyan Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Malay se damal damal marso whatever. Onde ko. Mana dita ngutel teal دورنا سوليرا Arbek التيرا مشهورة قبل من تريدرا throughout the past year. تغوبت سلسل تيرا السلسل تيامال لاستل ديرا يرم December 24 تيجاب تقول ميلان December 24 تيلول من we want to wish them a happy birthday, a happy new year, مرابك لاد but happy birthday مرتجاي تغوبت سل تيلول مغاريا LC Miguel تيجامرال دي سنسي MOE Charmaine Aquino, Palau High School, direct MOE. Ma Daisy Ulit, happy birthday, ngara principal ngara elementary school. So 3 educators Jenkins. Gerald Senardo, ngara MPII minister. Ma Jason Brell, nga MOJ. Ma Dr. Mogol, ngira alsaw. Ngira isaw. We want to wish them a happy birthday. Kaya sa trial bulis our toktang tiga di aurora even holidays. We want to wish them best wishes and every other belong. Drive safe, be safe. Sometimes we party too hard. Party responsibly. And spend time with your family. And be thankful. Well, bodo lolo mrenga saul. Na iger klangal tangat el biskida ruba kaldia sori agam na mumregarak. Domur abe seragal el bes el mutrol da gargi de positive. Be positive. Mamoria beile sector prepes conference be positive. Di Namanya sulela pastor sandario ngartia lo bangyat mang kung aula lo kung saman kapalo lulu el dusese.
Ya otak mal oldang seman mereng asura Dios ra press conference el alsils mo lobong press conference el alir yang presidente adoro real agat tengel mugatmok pro obisa president. Kino presidente ngongel pasemem bodoro salo servida sel. Last press conference about to go betchel mululu mereng asura Dios sigero olegra pastor musik ka malo odala lampi chief of staff nte lam teru du dam ngatiang open nga mo close Dios polo mokal tanga tra bulwador belo sel togol gire like los tiring nga Hebrew chapter 4 verse 12 Mula sa tingin a Dios adingar MCC. Ego kodor erbita madal saide. Malob alding mo morsen ngaringi omingel laklangar maring. Morsen ngaringi aulungar wao la maarungula iyus. Marit talawungulel aul daswel arungula. Palau Evangelical Church presidenta Uspe alos na every end of the year sel Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve. El pectel cristiano maraad el morsel fellowship malum selon dibil amom el morsalos akti. Abalula y los acumulase a Dios polo uspe el tingel guk mogay daw doswe da tial holir. Malat ke masya igel los el boding morsel el ang pol plontigay obisra president magid el rogul mo el morsalos akit. Tugubet sa sel molos Republic of Palau. Ya Dios por gay dergi de los persel tigin el momuti gay grab el wagas te moral medisa 2026. O era bodo el morse bogululu mrenga sula Dios se close a press conference e bodo el morse a los tergi.
Oh, hindi ako kimersi sa ligar bela di iwi.
Okay.
Okay.
Kami mersi gar bela o may garga o ko de.
Agira lengario. Elsa. Okay. Tigrinina first Petrus na ongawang na no trui me tiul gigrel bas. Mase malwai sei. Et tirgel warm el seguid el sual a Dios el girin. Lo guío a unil hombre lir lo ventrir a Dios lo meo partir el diálogo lo oidrat el vil. Oh, كم وتر عم دي مغري المقلس انا مرتقي بيتي لا
Ala nagluto oy sa los el plan mo presidente de la RFP. Ngarakot el Petrus e wa klol biong la ratru yu me etil gagrel batasa. Mo se malo ay say etirgel o arma el seigid ya so la Dios el girir logi wa ungil lomra lir el lo tarqa qiltrir ra Dios el meo partir el dia lo oit at el bilel.
Ol danse doren asura Dios Base a alo ay se trigel warm le seguid ya swala Dios el giri. Aigel poda arm ringi ya Dios alau mo kadmo soi se bringi lo arm malu mo warm ringi. Logi wa ungil lomre li aigel ungil lomre le del motmur bersel. El mlergi de lo arm Poloti rectel trir a Dios lulmeo partir el día que lo hoy tatel bilel. Mangida mo el trok retrigel way seguir el ad. Ma Dios amo kel tangat emo melisi irgida al seguir ring el día gida te adorar mo sois para al ser abayot el time. Kada mara mo sois para al samring el time toar adan mo el mo atagar gid. Mangal al seguir lo ngar e a Dios por buscar kisi edo mo klong el tangat mortigel. Ulay sayid mabela amaral mo sois para al seguir el time. Endi Dios amo muskita lom serreng maklisi edel endura igel gida amra mo so Israel se.
Adeki will to amrigen.
Oy.
Therefore, let those who suffer according to God's will entrust their souls to be faithful to the Creator while doing good.
Yes.
Maral bebe rata me kada mo question ase ngana mo damru la ungi lagi tadi warm.
Why say?
Di ngaria lagada ite a Dios le.
Why say?
Dia del melmon para clau marari.
Why say? The mal maren
El
asura
diu
Dios.
tuiri. Oh, 1 Peter 4:19. Malungil.
Al maral ulbas mera bulbada bela.
Sulang
Okay. Adabo lulu e ogol podo mol salo se. Ubo bol Dios ngarayang dagi mer madame al tutau el al suel belo bangela presidente komam man ministers. Man mo aldang sarga man maring asulim ram Dios regal morgorra gal ka muntigay especially al 2025 agi mal sa amal mesa. Abotogol klungal tanga terga ram Dios mlam mem ublar belumam. Yang ultuira lom sering rgau mong tigay rgau. Yung mosab el mga mokle ram Dios el girela belumam mar adal kiyang al sen. Ram Dios pomo makal tanga tayge rogu mlam mga moklungi lurior al sela belumam. Pomo makal tanga tertigel ad mabalu ram Dios el petiga rendir lo ngse melget ramam mabelumam. Ingat yang lulo bangalela nasil sa 2025 December 31st man mo ulang sembreng asulim ram Dios ra osab claim maulgarwi milgiram tubet sa ram Dios agi mal mereng asulim gira presidente ramam ani ay gering el moongar mo alak lumaygel lo brao del time ra klangar ringi yang ara al sela gel time ya mo odorsia i maranges mabel tigreng ragaw mo osab claim el sob akli mo odor ringil melmut al sils Agi mesa betul pengal tengah terga tam Dios lagi la belum mar at keng alsel. Tam Dios pomo mukul tengah tergi makke bine tergi. Rogul ministers lo rio lo bangel, mar directors, mar ada lo rio lo bangel. Bolsel baak le bolsel rasul ng arwil imam. Ya kama me adam Dios el masiunge ng regal bek iglesia. Bolsel pa me adam Dios el may osang amel korgawe ol dar satir ng ngarang lungu. Lengga adam Dios amal yus arogul toer alom sereng ong tigay gawai ma odo rula ungil rio. Magi maralo dang serga mereng asulim el alsils. Bolsel pa me adam Dios lo bo aul do swam marang mama lo mesel budula ba Israel gibom sisra alsel. Ya kala karing ilmu ongar mo alak lang ngar alsel. Hindi ka ngar selo bang kamam, mas kamam mabut arang mam. Magi mereng asulem oldang sra o marak pasya mga tigay, emre simspak tablu. Iway sel tigingem el subad mam el kula sein. Al sugu me kum arak longi kliang klek. Eng marang min merio o si gramada ge melulu. Eng akal Dios ngarayang ta mormeng sang lungu iu, e mo o sube sakeng miu, e om kungil rablu miu. Agi mereng asulim oldang serga tam Dios ya kama mablu lo merang lu sil sergau. Makyolingi tek masatigingem bol odere darang mam e bolong tigay ka kama milbas kama malum sereng el mut tigay ka rablu mam babal tigereng mabud argau. Imran mereng asulim tial lulubong press conference bol kulungal tangat taygir rokui lurir mlam katbok e bolong kama milmosois bape serga lo bangela presiden kama ma arbek el mut tigay ka rablu mam lo babal tigereng mabud argau. Ang mamadong sam ngarang klela Yesus Kristus sa sebelam. Amin.
Amen. Alam mo, wala giro malaka yelo. Happy New Year and best wishes for 2026. Lamal di mereng raungil peserak al morar beklaf ulingi tira Dios molmol molang tanga tra belwa tra blur belau mar bekla dar belau mal musula.